अभी तक हमने सीखा कि एक कंपनी के एनुअल रिपोर्ट्स क्या होते हैं और उनके फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स क्या होते हैं. We also learned about all the information we can find in them. Now let's see how we can use this information to analyze stocks as a fundamental analyst. We do this with the help of ratio analysis. Ratio analysis में हम कंपनी के फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स का यूज करते हैं to gain useful insights about a company's liquidity, operational efficiency and profitability. They are also used to compare companies and industries. चलिए देखते हैं कुछ important ratios को जो आप fundamental analysis करते वक्त इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. Number 1, profitability ratios. Some of the most commonly used profitability ratios are return on assets यानी कि ROA, return on equity यानी कि ROE, return on capital employed यानी कि ROCE and profit margin. These ratios gauge the ability of a business to generate profit based on its revenue, assets, equity, etc. सरल भाषा में ये रेशियोज बताते हैं कि एक कंपनी अपने अवेलेबल रिसोर्सेज से कितना प्रॉफिट कर सकती है. Higher ratios are more favorable, but they are more informative when compared with the company's own historical performance, its peers, or the industry average. For example, return on equity of 20% may sound great, but it doesn't look as appealing if the industry in which our company operates has a standard ROE of 25%. Number 2, liquidity ratios. Some of the most commonly used liquidity ratios are current ratio, quick ratio, and cash ratio. These ratios measure a company's ability to meet its short-term debt obligations without raising additional capital. इन रेशियोज से हम बिजनेस के इकोनॉमिक हेल्थ के बारे में जान सकते हैं. यहाँ डिनोमिनेटर करंट लाइबिलिटीज होते हैं और न्यूमरेटर शॉर्ट टर्म एसेट्स होते हैं. Higher the value of these ratios, better the company's financial health. Number 3, solvency ratios. Some of the most commonly used solvency ratios are debt ratio, debt to equity ratio यानी कि DE ratio, interest coverage ratio. Solvency ratios measure a company's ability to meet all of its financial obligations, short term and long term. These ratios also tell users how much capital comes in the form of debt. These ratios give us important information about a company's capital structure and how it uses debt to finance operations. Number 4, valuation ratios. Some of the most commonly used valuation ratios are price to earnings यानी कि PE ratio, price to sales यानी कि PS ratio, price to book यानी कि PB ratio and dividend yield ratio. वैसे इन्हें मार्केट रेशियोज भी कहा जाता है क्योंकि ये एक स्टॉक की मार्केट प्राइस को इवैल्यूएट करने के लिए यूज होते हैं. Investors use these ratios to determine whether a stock is fairly priced, overpriced or underpriced. Valuation ratios can also be used to compare stocks with peers, industry or a benchmark. Number 5, turnover ratios या activity ratios. Some of the most commonly used activity ratios are asset turnover ratio, inventory turnover ratio, receivables turnover ratio, payable turnover ratio. These ratios measure a company's efficiency in utilizing assets for generating cash and revenue. Fundamental analysts use these ratios to evaluate a company's performance over time or to measure it against industry peers.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.